Welcome to Finnish Brutality 2019. This is stage 5 of day 2, BMP Escape. I'm here with Ziga from Polenar Tactical and Mike from Bloke on the Range. Here's the setup for this stage. First of all, we called on the gods and the rain has started, and the rain continues throughout the entire stage, which is something wonderful for Finnish Brutality. The shooter starts standing in the infantry compartment of the BMP, pistol loaded and held at a 45-degree angle. At buzzer, the shooter will engage the pistol pepper poppers in front of the BMP and deposit their pistol in the deposit box. They will then egress the BMP. The doors will be left open. Their rifle will be staged outside in condition 3 in the box. Shooter will then acquire their rifle and move the dummy across the bay behind the sandbag bunker, securing the dummy. At that point, they will load their rifle and neutralize all 3 rifle targets downrange with 2 hits each. They will then safely ground their rifle, run back across the bay, acquire 2 very heavy sand-filled ammo cans, back across the bay, put them behind the safety bunker, acquire their rifle, and again, 6 more hits on those 3 rifle steel. Safe their rifle, run back across the bay, acquire the remaining 2 heavy sand-filled ammo cans, bring them to the bunker, reacquire the rifle, and finish the stage with 2 more hits on all 3 rifle steel for a total of 18 hits. Penalties on this stage are to not bring the dummy behind the bunker properly, to not bring all 4 ammo cans behind the bunker. Anything less than 18 hits is a penalty. Any pepper poppers left are a penalty.
Shooter ready. Stand by. Kato, jalka oli aika ulkona boksista äsken.
So, officially the 5th stage of Finnish Brutality 2019, our 2nd stage of day 2, and our 1st stage in Finnish rain, a proper Finnish summer. So we are all a little wet right now, and it was pretty pouring at one point or another.
It was. I think we've mostly avoided the worst of it. So I'm still covered in mostly dust, but that went well for all of us.
All 3 of us, I think, did a good job on this one.
Hey, yeah, I have some reservations.
Well, we'll hear what you have to say. How'd you do with your musket?
The first stage where this was not a disadvantage, and up to now it's been quite a disadvantage. First of all, I had no idea I could move that fast.
No, and you were telling me that some of your muscles didn't know that you could either.
No, and I didn't even know I had those muscles. I have pain in places I've never had pain before. I'm limping around a bit. I had to do the squat just to relieve them. And yeah, that was awesome fun.
I will say you were hauling. You were going fast.
I had no idea.
But the amazing part was, I don't think the movement. I think your shooting was superb. That thing was not a disadvantage because of you.
you had iron sights, you shot faster and hit faster than the guys with optics and red dots.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Your doubles were like pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
You were on.
Glad for the light loads. I think the light loads made a little bit of difference on the splits.
But still, it's a 308 rifle.
It's still running 350 power factor or something.
Essentially, every round that hits the target's double mine. So you did double damage, as we said at one point.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a bit of debate beforehand. Would people shoot standing or prone? But because there's 6 shots minimum from that position, the faster splits you can do prone with anything counted for the time. And you basically, with the knee pads and everything, you can just launch yourself at the ground.
That is a strategy. I don't know. I mean, as well, I try to essentially throw myself at the dirt.
Yeah.
That's my prone strategy. It's not a good one, but it's if you got knee pads on, really you can kind of just go, and armor particularly, you just kind of go, there's ground, gravity works, I'm going to use it. And you just kind of fall into the dirt, and if you do it right, you'll be right behind your rifle.
True. And that was the stage that actually were rewarded basic rifle skills. Could you do the basics quick? They're half or 2/3 size torso targets at what, 70 odd meters?
70 meters.
They're quite missable if you screw up, but if you've got your basics right, your alignment, coming back to alignment from the precision stage earlier, if it's right, bang, the sights settle right back down, squeeze the trigger, bang, and provided you don't mash it, you're dinging the place. And it was a bit comfort zoney with the sandbag there, resting the forearm on the sandbag, forearm or wrist. I have no idea. I can't remember whether I was forearm or wrist, but I dove down on the sandbag and was in a really comfortable position that was in my comfort zone, and it just dinged. And then for the physical part, just getting up, safe the rifle down, and poof, off.
And it was 18 rounds minimum, and you have 20 round mags.
Yep.
So this is an instance in which you didn't need to reload your foul either.
Yep. I think it's the first time.
Because of your accuracy, though.
Yeah, and I knew in my head I had maximum 2 makeup shots, and I didn't need them. It just went, and even the back of a BMP is tiny.
Man, wow, those are small.
Especially if you're wearing this, not just the back, but the upper hole where we shot from. I had problems getting in after that and going through.
Yeah,
the mags stick out so much, and if you have something in the back.
Yeah, my minimalist gear and it being up on my front, I just ducked down and I was in. But I hadn't thought of how I was going to put my feet, because you're off to the side because there's the bench, and I sort of lever myself out. And it's another case where the adrenaline time stretched, and I thought it took me a lot longer than it did actually take me to.
How does it take 3 minutes to get out of a BMP? I don't know, but this is what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
I'm getting stuck on every little thing in there, and there's lots of little things in there.
Well,
yeah,
but the one guy had a really interesting strategy: jump out and do a roll, and then go forward.
Christoph rolled out. Yeah,
but he's taller, right?
Yeah. Some of the big guys. There's a couple of really big guys, both height and width, and they had more trouble in that vehicle.
How did you guys do that?
Actually, when you two guys went, it was like lightly raining. So for me, I was like, oh great, I won't have this kind of big dust cloud. I can shoot faster and so on. Well, when it was my turn, it was quite pouring.
It was.
And my first concern was not getting water on my glasses. So before you go to the stage, the ROs prepare you, and you're waiting actually next to the BMP. And I was just doing this, shielding my glasses, trying to get water off the side. No problem. Went in the BMP. When the buzzer sounds, I forget about anything about glasses. Just shoot, drop the gun, drag the dummy. At first, I think I got some water on the glasses, but not a problem. Just a couple of drops. Get there, shoot a target, drop the rifle, and then run. And when I was running back, I already could see, like more droplets. And I think the worst thing that I did when I dropped the what are those, the cans?
Ammo cans.
Yeah, the ammo cans. I just dove in to the rifle, and I think some dirt or something also sprayed on my glasses. By the way, these are great. These are from Edge. They actually don't fog up, but unfortunately they don't help with this kind of muddy water.
No.
And I just couldn't see the sight. I was looking through it. At one point, I actually thought about changing the shoulder and trying it with this side because it was better. So at the end, I was just like trying to do this, and it was not blind firing, but I had both eyes open through the peep sight and just trying to wing it somehow. So yeah. That was unfortunate, but
Which
this
hand?
is how it is.
Which hand did you take the rifle with the dummy?
With left one.
Left one. We all took it with the left hand.
We saw a lot of shooters go with their right hand and then have this weird like crossover thing when they were running.
Yeah, they were
that
sort
could
of
be
running
muscle memory,
sideways.
yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of people have the natural tendency to hold it in the right hand because they've only ever really held it in the right hand. And then there's a situation here where you could say left-handers are advantage, but I mean, these balance quite well.
Yeah.
And the length didn't matter because the balance is good. And I'm stronger with my right arm, so I picked the dummy with the right arm. It sort of seemed self-evident to do it that way around, but then I saw...
For me, the only concern was just to keep the barrel in the...
And I thought it was
Exactly,
easier to do it in
180.
your left hand.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, it surprised me to see people taking it in the right, and we had a little discussion before.
I was like,
I'm
okay.
No, I'm going to take it in the left. I was like, that's what I was thinking, but I'm seeing all these other guys who are more experienced at this than me doing it the other way around, and not sure.
I saw that. I'm like, bold strategy, but I'm not going to do that. So when I got to the thing, I had no problems. I had a red dot, and that didn't fog up or have any issues. I did have water. I did still have water in my eyes, but it wasn't to the same degree that you were dealing with. Tried to move fast. Tried to be ergonomically quick by left hand with the right hand and all that we were just discussing right now, and went well. I felt like I got my good doubles and moved real quick with those cans. So
And through them.
I did. So that's another thing about efficiency. The cans and the dummy have to be past one fault line. So we saw some people go up and put them down. No thanks. I'm getting close to the line. I'm like, goodbye. And they just go rolling. And as long as they're past the line, I don't care about those anymore. And honestly, that's something that you would do in reality anyway. If you were bringing ammo cans and it was an emergency, you're like, here you go, bye. Like you're not be like, here you are, here's your tea, right? That's not how that's going to work.
What I was thinking of there was, I was going to just project them over the line, but I was running to the right. I really wanted to make sure that they were clear of my feet. Because the worst thing that could have happened would be lying down prone behind the rifle, and then you've got a can right where you need your leg, and then that's just going to take your time, break your concentration. So the split second that I was losing by running a bit further up range to drop them was certainly saved by peace of mind and managing to keep my
That said,
keep
I
my
can think
focus.
of one thing that is worse that happens. So both you landed up having to shoot irons because we mentioned earlier in the series that you had to take your optic off because the mount failed. You're shooting irons, right? We saw a shooter out there today with an open reflex sight. It was a hollow sun, but any open reflex sight would be susceptible to this.
Yep.
And not only did rain get on the emitter, which then obliterated his image, the actual glass itself fogged.
Oh, no.
So when he deployed the irons, there was like this fogging. Actually, it was Rudy Rez, and it had nothing he could do about this. This is a borrowed gun here in Finland, right? And the emitter is just obliterated. It's a starburst of nothing with water in the emitter, and then the glass itself's fogging over. And he was trying to shoot with irons through fog through this open reticle glass.
Yep.
And so that's probably a worse thing that could have happened than having your foot hit an ammo can.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting about this is we always know, we know at InRange at least, that in the real world there's no water, no rain, and no mud. But strangely here at this match, there turned out to be water, rain, and mud. And on your glasses
and equipment failure.
And equipment failure on his optic. And it was a disastrous result for him. Unfortunately,
Well,
something he couldn't do anything about.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, it's the same for everyone. Okay, maybe we shot one of the stages and now people have to shoot in the rain, but the stages that they shot before us,
Yes.
in good weather, now we'll have to shoot them in the rain. And
true.
it's how it is, and you have to deal with it, you know.
But it is a good lesson about equipment. Because, like, so
Yeah.
for example, an aim point, which is a closed diode system, or even, I know, the dreaded EOTech, but the EOTech is sealed. So the emitter would not get water on it. You get water on the glass, and as long as it's properly purged, it won't fog.
True.
So an EOTech or an aim point would not have been susceptible to this. And I can tell you that other hollow suns, like the 503C that we've used, would be okay as well. This happened to be an open emitter device with an open piece of glass, and it fogged. Not only did his image get lost, the glass became like essentially not opaque. He couldn't even see through it.
But irons are not immune to this either.
Oh no.
In the rain. Because an aperture can get water in it,
Yes.
and I've had this happen, and you end up going to clear it, and open U-notches can get blobs of
That's the
water
thing
in
I
them
was,
as well.
I was actually trying to prevent when I was waiting for the stage, but when the buzzer goes off, it's just everything. You forget everything, just like run.
The difference between that is you can blow out the water of a peep. Or an apple.
Oh yeah,
But and you could potentially blow the water out of the emitter.
but it's really hard to unfog.
You can't really unfog glass, not like that.
No.
And so we're watching this, and we're like, oh man, I honestly, I'm like, I don't know what you do. Maybe anti-fog coating.
Yeah.
I would say what you do is if you're in an environment that'll ever have rain or water, you don't use an open diode emitter on your rifle.
That's the thing. I don't
Yeah.
understand why that sight has to be a reflex sight.
think
It's fairly big, and they would just put another lens in front of it. It would look a bit different, you know, but
Yeah.
what is there any actual advantage to
I don't
reflex
believe.
sight?
I don't believe so. I don't know. Maybe cost.
It-
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but it makes sense for handgun optics, right?
Yeah.
Because smaller is better, lighter is better, but for rifle, I would just go with a proper close-up.
That's something we've heard about handguns. Not to go off topic, but like for example, the RMR is not susceptible to water, and the Delta Point Pro is, and the Aimpoint Acro probably won't be because it's an enclosed unit.
yeah.
That's another topic.
Perhaps the solution to these issues is to always make sure you've got backup irons and a way to get a damaged optic or fogged optic off the rifle quickly. So if you had a single lever quick release.
One answer would have been to QD, just poof, get rid of the
Yeah.
optic. My answer is not to have an optic that does that.
That is the ideal solution, but failing that.
Yeah, fair. Fun stage. This was our fifth stage aggregate for the match. We actually have one more to go. One more. If you haven't watched all of them, we're distributing them amongst all three channels: Polenar Tactical, InRangeTV, and Bloke on the Range. So if you missed one of the stages, check all three channels because we're doing this as a collaborative effort. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more from Finnish Brutality 2019.